Jeremy from Jeremy.net. So recently, I have been wondering why my comic book anatomy isn't as good as my figure drawing anatomy. Now, mind you, I still have a lot to learn about figure drawing, as you can tell by the drawings to the left. In fact, these are ones I specifically saved because they were drawings that didn't come out well, and I wanted to redraw them as I do my figure drawing repairs every once in a while. Just sort of analyze and break down what I'm doing wrong so I can stop making the same mistakes. But here's what I've been thinking about. It occurs to me that much of figure drawing is about describing a form by the way that its surfaces turn away from light. My figure drawing work is usually done in charcoal pencil. And with charcoal pencil, you're using soft gradients and tone and shadow to describe what the surface is doing, to describe the way that the form turns. However, in comics, it tends to be all black and white. In my case, I'm doing all brush work. I don't really use a lot of cross-hatching in my comics. It's not that I have anything against cross-hatching, it's just not something that I used to do very much. But I started wondering what would happen if I practiced the type of work that I do in figure drawing class, but using the tools that I use to make comics with. And so I broke out my brush and India ink, and sat down, and instead of doing these drawings from figure drawing class that didn't come out well, instead of redrawing them in charcoal and doing studies, I'm doing the same type of study work, but with ink. And I will tell you, the first thing that I'm learning is that even though I don't necessarily do a lot of cross-hatching, there is going to have to probably be some more hatching in my work in the future. Now, one of the things that I noticed is the arm that I'm redrawing from the figure that I had just done a moment before. I didn't get this right. There's some foreshortening going on there, and part of the whole reason for me redrawing this is that in the charcoal pencil to the left, I did not get the sense. It looks weird that it's going out to the left, the upper arm, and then the forearm is coming in, and there's more foreshortening with that. If anything, at this angle, the arm should have been coming towards the viewer, towards the picture plane a little bit more, and I didn't get that sense of feeling. So I ended up redrawing this figure multiple times, just trying to get what I felt like a natural angle on that. I still didn't get it, and to be honest, if I want to really study this further, which I kind of want to because it bothers me, I'm probably going to have to take the pose myself or get my wife to pose for me and get her in as close of that pose as possible, and then just try to study it myself and see if I can even that, I'm drawing the arm one more time. Because that's what you do. When you don't get the solution right, you take another stab at it, and take another stab at it. It's like playing a video game where you can't beat that level. I don't get mad that the drawings aren't coming out well. I just sit there and say, all right, well, let me try this, let me try that. To be honest, I would have spent all night just drawing that arm trying to get it right. Except I also want to do a male figure or two. But the thing about hatching, so I mentioned that briefly when I first started. I don't usually do a lot of cross-hatching because I feel like you can get lost in creating all these interesting patterns and creating a cool sense of light, but not necessarily describing anything. I've seen a lot of people that do a lot of hatching to cover up bad drawing. And I'm trying more to strip things away and do. It's not that I'm trying to do as little work as possible because I'm lazy. I am lazy, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to convey as much as possible with as little rendering as possible, so I'm not cluttering up the picture with garbage. I'm not hiding my poor drawing. I'm trying to do less so that my mistakes are very visible. Not because I want people to see that I'm a bad artist, but because by having my mistakes on the surface and having them visible, it forces me to deal with them. It forces me to figure out how to make them become better. And one of the things that I'm learning, especially from this pose that you're looking at right here, is that I need to start embracing a little bit more hatching. Now, what I'm doing here is what I consider contour hatching, where as opposed to doing cross hatching, you're just going along the direction that the form is going. Like, as you can see, I'm just trying to do hatching that, as opposed to going back and forth and just doing a slow wrap around, the way you would do if you did cross hatching around a sphere, I'm just sort of looking at whatever the direction is that I have that volume, whether it's a forearm or a thigh, and trying to make the hatching flow in the direction of that volume. And a lot of these forms that I would normally draw, I would do them where all of the places where I've got that contour hatching that you're seeing here, I would just do that in flat black. So that's something that I kind of wanted to play with and explore, and I think I'm going to have to lighten up on spotting the blacks. I've gotten some really nice compliments recently on the artwork that I've posted on Instagram and Twitter and on social media, showing my work in progress pages on Morningstar issue 6. But a lot of that spotting of blacks, while I'm conveying the volumes well in there, just from seeing what it looks like when I do this contour hatching and not making every single black a hard, sharp black volume, it kind of leaves me a little bit more space. It's almost like there's more tonal range. It's not almost, that's exactly what it is. There's more tonal range in the picture. The fact that I now have a half tone in the ink stage, it used to be, and I think I've mentioned this in a video about leaving space for Photoshop, it used to be that all of my halftones were being done in Photoshop, and it really was zeros and ones, black and white. But having a little bit more of subtlety and allowing myself to do what I haven't done before, which is to work more halftones into the drawing stage, the inking stage, there's more information, there's more description of the figure. And even with this one, I kind of said to myself, you know, who cares? These are practice studies anyway, so I'm not really worried about whether I wreck it or not. I wanted to see what would happen if I took this drawing that I have here that seems to be coming out decently. I mean, I probably went a little bit overboard with the rendering, but I said, what happens if I go and add ink to this and just spot the blacks the way I would normally? And it does convey the volumes, but I think that this is a new level of my exploration, of me figuring out how much do I want to go solid flat blacks versus a little bit of contour hatching. So there's a lot more for me to explore in the future. I hope you enjoy joining me while I do. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please like and share them. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can sign up for my weekly newsletter to get a free digital comic at newsletter.jeremy.net. That's newsletter.germi.net. Also, visit my main website, jeremy.net, where you can buy my comic books, art prints, and more. There's also links to my Instagram, Twitter, and other social media accounts. That's it for now. Go be creative.